Alonzo Carter to Sacramento State. It's officially hammer time in the Bay Area.
Welcome on in, guys, to the AZ Wildcats podcast, coming to you live from Studio K, presented by our fine friends over at Circle K. I am Damon Fairall. He is Kevin Thomas, and we are the AZ Wildcats pod, of course, presented by Branded Bills. Head on over to brandedbills.com, use promo code BBPHNX, and get 15% off your first order. Again, that's at brandedbills.com. You're going to want to check out that campus collection for yourself. Mr. Kevin Thomas, how are we doing today? It is, in fact, a Monday afternoon, I guess now, and we are commencing on another week of the Arizona Wildcats being the number one team in the country in the sport that pays the bills around here in basketball. And of course, there is some football news as well that we're going to get heavy into in this show. But how was your weekend? How are things going? And are we excited about still the number one team in the country?
And still, weekend was good. Weekend was long, but I am here on a Monday, excited to be talking about more Arizona athletics. And you're right, Sam. You're right. The only BB bigger than Branded Bills right now is Braden Burries, because he absolutely went off this past weekend. A huge reason why I'm so pumped on today's show is that we don't have to talk about Braden Burries being mid, or does he have it, or does he not have it? Should we be patient? Should we not be patient? We can just enjoy the ride now, and I feel like we're all on the same page, and we're not as worried about Braden Burries. Some of us were never really truly worried about Braden Burries. But yeah, happy to be here on a Monday. Happy to be talking a little bit of football, a little bit of basketball, a little bit of a mixed bag today, Damon. We have transfer stuff to talk about. We have coaching carousel stuff to talk about. I think that's where we should probably start today. Pete Thamel, I believe was the first to break the news, but there was a bunch of sources coming out talking about it. Alonzo Carter has officially inked a deal to become the head coach of Sacramento State. Sources confirmed to ESPN. The sides have finalized the deal, and he'll be announced today. He was announced. He'll be the fourth head coach there since 2022. And Damon and I, we're going to get into the effects on Arizona's roster, the effects on the bowl game, all that kind of stuff coming up. But where I wanted to start, Damon, because I think this is kind of an interesting conversation, right? Alonzo Carter, I think we all can agree he's a really good coach, extremely good recruiter, and has a great personality for this role, and is certainly good enough to lead a Sacramento State and deserves that kind of an opportunity. However, as I said to you pre-show, I'm not sure that this is like the best move for Alonzo Carter. You're not really going into a program that is had any sort of stability, like 4 head coaches in, less than 4 years, right? Definitely less than 4 seasons for Sacramento State. The fans online, and now this blew me away, Damon. The news started to bubble, right? There's interest in Alonzo Carter for this job. Next update, he's a finalist for this job. And once the finalists were released, I saw a tweet, and let me pull this up so I can exactly get it correct. And I should have did this pre-show, and this is really, great podcasting. But Jack Dan, who is a sports editor for the State Hornet, so he covers Sacramento State, he said, Alonzo Carter is emerging as the favorite to land the head coaching job I've heard. He's got deep roots in North California and was the Contra Costa College's head coach, going 47-27, 4 conference championships, before taking the coach's job at SJSU in Arizona. Now, that was a lot of preamble to say this. Sacramento State fans, at least the ones online that were loud about it, were seeming outraged over Alonzo Carter being their head coach and not Troy, that Troy guy. Troy Taylor. Yes. Troy Taylor, who has coached there before, who has succeeded there before. And I understand that aspect of things, Damon. But as you and I were talking about this morning, you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, if you are a Sacramento State fan, the guy hasn't even inked the deal yet. pen has not even been put to paper, and you're practically saying, we don't want him. He can't do it here better than Troy did it. And I feel like you sound like the ex-partner who just wants to crawl back to their ex, no matter how they did them wrong or no matter how the success of the relationship was. When you have new opportunities, there's new fish out in the sea every day. Alonzo Carter is a big grouper swimming upstream, and you have a chance to snag that fish, and you do snag that fish. You bring it back to your tribe or your girlfriend and her partner, and she's like, but Troy Taylor, we had that fish 2 weeks ago, and it was awesome. And I don't know. The fans just seem ungrateful. You have people saying, wow, let's not get the guy who's won here. Let's try a new guy. And it's like, that's not usually, like, you don't always have to see that. Like, I feel like every time a head coaching position opens, maybe I'm wrong on this, but I don't really go like, well, who already coached here that we can go get because that's what I want. And then when the coach that I don't want gets hired, I'm not like, oh, well, it's all over now. I hate this guy.
Yeah.
Coach Carter's a good dude. Give him a fair shot.
Oh, great dude. He's a great dude, and he deserves a fair shot. And I think, everyone is predisposed to, initial reactions on a hire. Like when Jedd Fisch was hired, it was seen as the death of Arizona football as a program. And in fact, it was the opposite. It saved this program and injected like a new lifeblood into it. So I wouldn't read too much into the initial reaction necessarily, but I'm not gonna lie, Kevin, not to like be combative against you or anything, but I guess this is our podcast and we don't have to agree on everything. Seems like you're doing a little bit of fence sitting there. Like on the one hand, you don't think this is a good move for Alonzo Carter, but on the other hand, their fans should be grateful that he is the new head coach of Sac State.
Yeah, because let me clarify that then.
Like if you, as someone who covers Arizona football, if you don't think that this is the opportunity that is going to, breathe success into this Sac State's program, for what reason should Sac State fans be fired up and so enthused by this hire?
See, here's my thing with that is one, in my opinion, does not necessarily have to do much with the other when you look at it like this. I don't know why I'm getting emotional over this, but Alonzo Carter, I don't think I'm not like a oracle with this, but I would assume that this is not the move, right, for him in terms of being the best move out there because it's Sacramento State. They've had 4 head coaches. He's the 4th one since 2022. He is latching himself to a boat that is rickety. You know what I mean? It's a fixer-upper. But what I'm saying with the fan reception is,
Kevin, they're not getting fired. These guys are not getting fired though. They're getting promoted. There's a huge difference between 4 head coaches. All of them are getting canned because the program you can't win there. Versus a guy got promoted to Stanford, a guy got promoted, I guess, to an OC at Colorado. Like it's a little bit different circumstances than that.
And I'm saying the fans maybe should have a little bit more understanding of that. Maybe you should understand we're Sacramento State, not Alabama. And so maybe every once in a while when you get a head coach, it's not just going to be, oh, he has the perfect resume and he's going to be the hottest coach next season and he's going to take us to where we want to be. Like, you got to give the next guy a chance, right? I'm saying the fans, I think those two things can be totally independent, right? This could maybe not be the best move for Alonzo Carter in the long run, right? And also the fans, before they even get a chance to judge that, you know what I mean? Maybe you should give him a chance. I'm allowed to do this because I'm saying, Sacramento State, you are not high enough to have this level of high horse attitude towards Alonzo Carter, who is a good coach and is a good recruiter. And maybe he succeeds there. I just don't look at Sacramento State as being like, the move for him. Maybe I'm wrong. I probably am wrong, but I don't know. I think that both things can be true. You could have made a choice that maybe not be the right choice 5 years down the road, and the reaction to it in the moment could also be incorrect, if that makes sense. I don't know.
I just feel like, if you're sitting there and you're saying that this isn't like a home run hire where it's going to, wow, what a perfect fit for Alonzo Carter to go be the head coach at this program. But then at the same time, like you're being like, hey, fans, give him a chance. It's like, well, in a way, you kind of need to give him a chance as well, I would argue. But I hear you.
I'm saying he can do it. It's not the move I would have made if I was in his shoes is really what I'm saying.
That's even crazier because he's probably getting like twice as much money, Kevin. What if ESPN said, ESPN, a company that you probably haven't really in recent years been like, I want to go work there with all of the stuff and the way they handle sports media these days and, cutting people and not really being that cool of an entity anymore. But if they pulled up and they said, Kevin, we're offering you twice as much money as you get paid at PHNX Sports, you're probably going to go take that job, no?
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. And I guess a better way of what I'm saying, because he is smarter than me, Ezekiel Badillo in the chat, this is kind of what I'm getting at, Damon. They're over there giving up on him before they've even seen him, right? And I'm telling him this is a good coach. Maybe he is successful, right? Over there. And they're absolutely out of their mind already. No? I don't know. I think that's fair.
Sorry. I rolled my eyes because I got told I was in a mood today because I pushed back on something that I disagreed with.
No, yeah, I know. If you disagree with me, Damon, you might as well be the devil, brother. That's how it goes over there. Even though I'm actually the one technically being in the mood over this.
As Pigeon puts in here, like the RB coach at Arizona gets paid $350,000. I would imagine that he's getting a pretty significant pay raise here. I mean, what did Brennan Marion make last year at Sac State?
I do not know off the top of my head, but
Damon, you don't know that information?
Nah, but you're
Kevin. What do I even keep you around for? $1.5 million per year.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's his new deal. I guess that's his new deal at Colorado. But I think it's probably in that $1 million range, I would imagine. Yeah, 400,000 base salary as well as 1.1 million in achieved incentives that he could reach. I just think that this is like Sac State is also a program that is very heavily investing in their athletic department right now. They want to make that push to the Pac-12 to be in the new version of the Pac-12. They're really trying to up their level, I think, to get to that point. And that's why they went out and they hired a Mike Bibby, who's a very notable person. They went out and, now I know that this isn't the most notable of hires, but they got Brennan Marion, who at the time was like a star in the making. This guy's a star. He's our new head coach. And he wears a cowboy hat and it's sick. And he has the go-go chain. And then he goes and leaves after 1 year. This program is on the trajectory of one that is moving its way on up. But I can hear fans out a little bit. Like, this is not Arizona where, like our alternative is, well, we could go get Rich Rod and bring him back and win 6 games a year every year. It's like, no, Sac State is like they are not very high on the totem pole of college football. And Troy Taylor made them relevant. So I understand a little bit of their fan base being like, we're loyal to this guy because we've seen him do it before at this school in a way that we haven't really seen anybody sustainably do it. Like, Troy Taylor brought them to a place of being relevant, joining a bigger conference, having Cam Scatterbill. I know that sounds crazy, but
that does actually sound crazy, yeah.
But I just think that, maybe like it's natural human reaction to be like, I want the guy who I saw be successful in this role. I also think that it's like people will warm up to him very fast if things start building momentum, right? Like if he nabs a big recruit for their standards, I think that all of a sudden everyone's all aboard the Alonzo Carter train. People are going to overreact on social media, but all in all, good move for Alonzo Carter. Probably receives a big pay increase. This is like a very high profile move. For a RB's coach to take that mantle and that jump. And so congratulations to him and his family. Gets to go back to Northern California. I know Sac State is not necessarily the Bay Area, but I'm sure he has a lot of ties in that area as well. And great dude, great supporter of this podcast. I'm going to miss that, Kevin. I'm going to miss the odd Alonzo Carter retweet on a Ishmael Mahdi, highlight or something. But I guess moving on from Alonzo Carter and just kind of like, where he'll end up or how this will go for him. How do you think this will go for Arizona? Like, where do they go from here? What running back coaches could they potentially hire? And does this change anything in that running back room in particular? Because you do have some returning pieces. Ishmael Mahdi out the door on that Arizona depth chart there. And so you won't be having Ishmael Mahdi on next year's team, but you should hypothetically have a Kedrick Reesano. You should hypothetically have a Quincy Craig. But we'll see, I guess. I mean, it's possible, Kevin, that he takes one of these guys along with them and gives them like that feature back role at Sac State, right? Like there's if you're I'm not saying that he's not on the level to play at this school, because I think that he is, but like a Wesley Yarbrough or a Cornelius Warren, what if Alonzo Carter, who you just committed to not that long ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, is like, I want to make you the feature back at Sac State next year. Maybe that potentially could lead to Arizona losing somebody in that room. I wouldn't expect it out of the guys that play, the Kedrick Reesenos, the Quincy Craigs of the world, but we'll find out if this has any effect on Arizona's current running back room.
That's a good point, Damon, and I do like that point, that it's not mostly about the guys that are getting a lot of reps. It's about the guys that aren't getting a lot of reps, where he could really kind of recruit them and be like, oh, like Arizona, they kind of got it going on right now. We help build something here, but I don't know if you are a part of that future for them. Do you want to? I like that point out of you, Damon, and I will add this, that I think it's less important for this bowl game, because we know that this team is well coached, and it's not like Alonzo Carter is going to give up on this group. We know that he's not that kind of a guy, right? But I do think it's impactful going forward, depending upon who Arizona hires in his replacement, because he is an elite level recruiter. He is great at making connections. He does have a really cool backstory that is maybe not relatable to everybody, being associated with MC Hammer, but it's certainly something that gets the ear of a young person. Even I know MC Hammer might be, maybe you and I are like the last young people to like know of and appreciate MC Hammer. Maybe the people younger than us getting recruited now don't care. I still think that'd be cool.
I appreciate it on the proper level that it deserves to be appreciated at. Like, that felt like a cultural phenomenon that you just had to like be there to witness, or else you're just truly not going to get it.
That's what I'm saying.
We obviously know who MC Hammer is, for sure.
Yeah, and I still think that he is a guy that can really kind of like to a different extent, but you'll hear what I'm saying here. Kind of like a Joe Salavea in a way. Right, where he might not be like the lead coordinator on that side of the ball, but he's going to get you the dogs that you need, and he's going to train them properly so that when the offensive coordinator, in this case, Seth Dagey, gets those running backs in action, it's no block, no clock. And you know that, right? They're a bunch of dogs right out there. Same thing with Joe Salavea's defensive line unit, right? You know Danny Gonzalez is going to utilize them properly, because you know Joe Salavea recruited high-level, high-integrity guys that have been coached to the highest level. So I think this is a huge loss for Arizona's offensive staff specifically, because of the recruiting aspect and because of that attitude. I think Ezekiel put that earlier in the chat potentially. But I think like the no block, no clock attitude that you theoretically lose, right, with that being like a mantra thrown around, I'm sure that is still a point of emphasis, right, blocking and that being important to get on the field. But you do lose some of that intensity. You do lose some of that recruiting power for your offense. So I think this is a big deal, and I'm interested to see what Arizona does in replacement of Alonzo Carter, because he is not like there's not really and maybe I'm wrong on this, but there's not really a like archetype that Alonzo Carter is. Like we just kind of outlined, he is a guy that has worked with MC Hammer. He is a guy, you know what I mean, that has recruited a ton of high-level guys.
Who else has been in an MC Hammer music video in their past life?
True, but I guess I'm saying like you see like archetypes of coaches of like, oh, the young up-and-coming recruiter. Oh, the young statistician who's got the schemes, right? Like, and then you have, oh, like the charisma guy. But I think Alonzo Carter, he doesn't really cleanly fit into like any of those prototypes, right? He's kind of just like a one of one in a lot of ways from a personality standpoint, from a inclusion in the community standpoint. So yeah, we're definitely gonna miss Alonzo Carter, and I'm interested to see who replaces Alonzo Carter, because it's hard to replace someone like that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think if you had to put him into an archetype, it would be like the local, like he has local ties to the community. That's really what it comes down to for Alonzo Carter. Like he gets this job at Sac State because he clearly like proved to the people that are making those decisions that he's going to be able to recruit at Sac State. Like this pipeline that he has in place is one that he can work with. And so that's what I would say. Like his profile of coach and archetype of coach would be like local recruiter at a school that
hometown hero
maybe doesn't have the reach to go get players outside of their particular area. Like Sac State is not going to be going into Texas and nabbing, high-level recruits. But maybe you could beat out a Stanford or a Cal for a really good recruit if you have the right recruiter who finds the right relationship. And I think Alonzo Carter has proven that he is one of those guys where he can develop strong relationships with players, to the point where like they'll just move with him. They love that dude, right? Like you saw it with the San Jose State backfield. Quali Conley went right alongside Alonzo Carter over to Arizona, and I think that is one circumstance of that showing. So as you said, we'll miss him. We'll wish him the best, and we'll be updating you on what a future running backs coach might look like at Arizona. But as Max puts here in the chat, and I think that this is the wholeheartedly truth, like with the season that we just had at Arizona football in Tucson, Arizona, with our football program, 9-3 typically leads to a lot more than just your RB coach and your GM leaving.
That's a good point.
And the GM is a big piece. I think that he had guys had a lot to do with how that roster got built last year, and that's going to be big shoes to fill. But if you can find a way to keep these coordinators, obviously keep your head coach, I think that that's going to go a long way in terms of keeping the stability of this program going. And last time we had a season like this, we lost Johnny Nansen, we lost Jed Fish, we lost, not
the whole farm, Aquina. Honestly.
Yeah, pretty much. We lost a lot last time we had a season like this, including players. Like
lost the barn, lost the animal, had some fence posts left, like Dwayne Aquina, but not much.
Not just coaches, but players too. Like players were out the door as well, and it would have been a lot worse if it wasn't for like Noah and T-Mac and those guys. But you usually lose a lot at a program like Arizona when you're bordering on double-digit wins, and this is definitely a loss, but it's one that I think that Arizona is going to be able to get through.
I agree with you, and for the record, I don't know how my initial point came off. But I don't want it to seem like I don't think Alonzo Carter can do that job. I think he can do that job. But I wanted him to kind of, and maybe this is like the way you explained it, I think I was kind of sleeping on the quality of what Sacramento State's job could be for his career, right? And for what he wants to do inevitably with his career. Because I do think he can do a good job there. I was more so just upset that we feel like we're losing a really good position coach, a really good guy, a good part of this Wildcat community, and then Sacramento State before he's even announced as the guy. Like, he's not even been announced as he was now, but a couple days ago, he was not even announced as the guy. He was just a candidate for the position. They're already trashing him. And I'm like, who are you guys to trash an up-and-coming coach, right, as Sacramento State? And I do get that they're upcoming, but that was more my point. More so than, I don't think Carter can do this. That's why it's a bad move. I think it's a bad move because they're not even appreciating you. They're not giving you a chance before you get in the door. And it's Sacramento State, right? You know what I mean? Like, they're not good enough to treat you like that. You know what I mean? That's kind of a clearer way of putting it. But yeah, Coach Carter will be definitely missed in the Wildcat community, but we're going to be keeping tabs on him going forward.
I think I interpreted your point as saying, like, he's not going to be successful there.
Yeah, I didn't word it very well, to be honest.
Which is because you were just saying you didn't like the move.
Yeah.
Which to me, that means that you think that he's not going to be successful there. But really what you were saying is that you want him to go to a place that he's properly appreciated and that the momentum is being built from the jump when he gets hired on, because that's the type of opportunity that Alonzo Carter deserves. So I understand what you're saying there. I think that, to my point, like, fans are emotional. We said the same thing about Jed Fish, and it's, one of the best hires we've ever had in this program's history. And if he can find a way to build some recruiting momentum, everyone's going to be on Alonzo Carter's side, and just like that. So it'll work itself out, and the cream will rise to the top there. But we got to talk about just kind of what this means for Arizona football. We'll get into it more so right after this first break here on the AZ Wildcats podcast. Until then, drop a like, rate and review, subscribe, drink your water. Don't go anywhere.
If you were looking for a way to either unwind or uplift yourself during these crazy times without Arizona basketball, because they've been on a football schedule for the last couple of weeks. I know they'll play tomorrow, but if you're looking to just get through that time without basketball, Pure Edibles are the ones for you, because they have all types of edible varieties, whether it's hard candies, caramel, soft candies, gummies, kicks, kind of like Starburst. Those are the ones I'm most partial to. But if you're into the gummies and the edible side of things, Pure Edibles is the Arizona-founded company for you, founded at Noble Herb Dispensary in Flagstaff. That is the home of Pure Edibles, and their edibles are not covered in sugar or any of these chemicals that some of their competitors are. This is a fully fledged, fully fleshed out candy company, making it happen on the edible side of things with CBN, CBG, CBD, and marijuana-derived THC. So go find yourself some pure edibles from any of the 130 dispensaries across this great freedom state that offer pure edibles.
Love our friends over at Pure Edibles, and I gotta tell you guys about my friends over at Smirnoff Vodka, because I became a big connoisseur of Smirnoff Vodka when I was at the University of Arizona. I'm sure we all had our time in Tucson drinking some Smirnoff. And guys, the Smirnoff truck is gonna be back in Arizona on December 21st at State Farm Stadium.
Wow.
So if you're gonna go watch the Arizona Cardinals take on the Atlanta Falcons, first off, I'm sorry. Second off, it's going to be a lot more fun if you show up and tailgate at that Smirnoff truck beforehand, right? Because we all know the Cardinals have turned into a complete unmitigated disaster, and the only way to get through it is by partying it up with the Smirnoff truck, friends, and family. They got their new spicy tamarind flavor out there. I can personally vouch for it. It is fantastic. It's one of those alcoholic drinks, Kevin, that is... It's so spicy that it almost takes away the like, you know,
the punch
of an alcoholic taste that you would be accustomed to. It drowns it out, if you will, and it's pretty interesting. If you're into like spicy drinks, the spicy tamarind flavor is for you. I can attest to that. So if you'll be cheering on the Cardinals in person against the Atlanta Falcons on December 21st at State Farm Stadium, don't forget to stop by and see our friends over at the Smirnoff truck.
You know, Damon, we're not done with football. I was done with my hat. I actually meant to put my hat back on. That will be coming on momentarily because we can't have this going public. We can't have this going public. You know what I mean? At the stock exchange, people ain't trading this airline. They're selling their stock. But look, Damon, we do have a lot more football to talk about.
To be fair, airlines are always a depreciating asset, Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a car. You take it off the lot, and it loses all its value immediately.
Push it back once, and it just doesn't come back. You know, we were talking about this is a quick side note. We're about to do a science segment real quick. This morning in the production office, this is not a bit. This is a true fact. We were reading the Harvard Health Publication Journal this morning, trying to figure out what does stress cause gray hair. Because we were talking about like, oh, I'm stressed, I'm going gray. You know what I mean? But fun fact, stress only starts the cycle of hair shedding, which because the act of losing or shaving hair, it grows back slightly different. Like imagine the color just being a little bit less potent, like ink in a printer, right? So you print a new page, a little less color in there. So stress causes hair shedding, which then causes regeneration, which then causes graying. So stress doesn't actually directly cause graying, but it does cause the cycle that starts graying. Fun fact of the day on the AZ Wildcats pod.
We're going to start turning into a hair health episode as well on our podcast as well on AZ Wildcats podcast. How about my guy, Mo Ranch in here, 123, perfect for Mexican candy shots. That Smirnoff Spicy Tamarind is perfect for the Mexican candy shots. Absolutely, no doubt about it. And remind me your name, because I know I'm going to remember it once I see the avatar. YouTube keeps screwing up on the ats versus the names, and I recognize the names in the pictures, and then they throw in a different name on me, and I'm like, what?
Can I take a swing at that? I think isn't it just M? That's my official guess. I think it was just M before. But let us know.
Isn't M from the ASU chat?
But there's M. There's multiple M's. They got a green and a blue M. They call them blue M&Ms and green M&Ms. We have an M. Everyone's got an M. But Damon, we do have, as Max says, we need a class segment of the show every day where Kevin just teaches us something new. You overestimate my intelligence, and you overestimate my aptitude to learn something every day,
Kevin's
and then repeat that and regurgitate that to you in a way in which you can actually learn it. But maybe we can do. Oh, it's W in the chat, not M. I flipped it upside down. That's disrespectful, and I apologize. But, Damon, we do have quarterback transfer news, and also women's volleyball transfer news. Is that true? Is that the case?
Yeah, we do have some women's volleyball transfer news, Kevin. This is big news in the way of Arizona athletics, and it has nothing to do with Arizona. Why don't we go ahead and throw this on screen here? We have a transfer in the transfer portal here, Kevin. A Cincinnati volleyball player is announcing her next chapter and is saying that she's so blessed for this opportunity to take her talents to Lubbock, you can see that they're still they still got the bevel logo going. Thank God.
Yeah,
because I every time I see that other logo, I'm like, wow, it sucks so bad.
The logo's nasty, bro.
Why is this important, Kevin?
Why
is this important? You look to the right there. You see, who's that? Oh, my God. It's Brendan Sorsby. And he says, love this. Heart hands emoji. Brendan Sorsby has entered the transfer portal today. That is Brendan Sorsby's girlfriend. Brendan Sorsby's girlfriend has transferred from Cincinnati to Texas Tech. And that decision has been confirmed. Now, what does this mean for the state of college football? I think Brendan Sorsby is going to test the draft waters. He had a really good season. You could argue this is going to be like the highest his value will be from a draft standpoint. And I've even seen some buzz about him being like a second, third round pick, Kevin. So I think if that was the case, he's probably going to actually just stay in the draft and take that opportunity. And he probably should. But if he doesn't get the draft evaluation that he wants, I think that this is all the confirmation we need that he will be returning to college next year, and it will be in Lubbock at Texas Tech. And where are we as a university or as a athletics, like just a sport in general, Kevin, where we are now in the sports that matter to us more? And I won't speak to Brendan Sorsby's girlfriend's ability to play volleyball. She could be great, and maybe I'm an idiot and I'm just uninformed and ignorant as to what the happenings of women's college volleyball is right now. But she is, like, I would guarantee that, or I would be close to guaranteeing that Cincinnati women's volleyball is not on the same level as Texas Tech women's volleyball, especially with the NIL packages that a school like Texas Tech can put together, especially for women's athletics. We are now in a spot in college athletics, Kevin, where the move to try to get a player that you want is to go after that player's girlfriend and get her to come to your school and play a sport that you care about less so that you can assure yourselves of getting Brendan Sorsby. Like, maybe she's really good at volleyball and she helps Texas Tech's volleyball team, but it feels like to me like Texas Tech doesn't care if she'll help the volleyball team. They're just like, fine, bring her on, give her a spot, throw her a scholarship. Who cares? It's Brendan Sorsby time in Lubbock. And that's crazy to me. That's crazy.
You know, Damon, this is crazy. I'm not going to say it's not crazy. It's not what I'm here to do. But I'm going to push back on your statement the way you pushed back on mine in the first segment, because I feel like this has been stuff that's been going on forever. Like, forever. I think the easiest way, like before NIL, the easiest way to pay somebody is with benefits in real life, like a car or a girl or an experience at the club, or maybe your brother gets a snap at running back for ASU. Maybe. Do you want to come play for the Sun Devils, Coa Pete? We'll let your brother get a charity, a charity carry in the game. Do you love us? No, still don't love us? Okay. So I feel like stuff like this has been going on even before NIL, because you actually couldn't legally pay the guys or girls or whatever.
Yeah.
But you could, maybe give their brother a spot on the student management staff, or Michael Porter Jr. ends up at Mizzou because his dad is on the staff as an assistant. I wonder why his dad got hired at Mizzou in the same year that his son was number one in the high school rankings.
Evan Mobley's dad, same thing.
You know what I mean? So this is crazy. I'm not disputing that. This, like, the idea that Texas Tech can snatch Brendan Sorsby out of the transfer portal and by proxy the NFL draft because that is where his girlfriend had ended up, and because they're going to give him a nice massive check alongside of that. I think that this is crazy, but it is kind of something that's been going on for a while. I think the thing for me, Damon, with the Brendan Sorsby bit is this. The cosplay cowboy. Can't wait to see your post committing to us next. Brendan Sorsby lover. I'm going to miss you, babe. What is this? What is this? What this is parasocial oddities is what it is, Damon. It's weirdos on the internet, and that's what stood out to me most about that post. But yeah, no, I think this is crazy, but it's been going on for quite a bit.
I hear you, and I think that you're totally right. Like, it's not the first time that a girlfriend has gone to the school of her boyfriend's choice for college.
Didn't Basard and his partner have some sort of similar context?
100%. She was given, and she Jasmine Paris-Chica, who played softball at Arizona and whose dad was the third base coach for the Diamondbacks forever. She left and became an assistant on the North Carolina softball team in accordance with Henry Vasar going and becoming a North Carolina player. Like she graduated from U of A. She was on Arizona's coaching staff, and then she made that jump to North Carolina's coaching staff. Now, the one thing I would say there is I would assume Arizona's coaching staff is on a higher level than North Carolina's coaching staff in a sport like softball. So North Carolina might be like, oh my God, yes, please give us all the Arizona softball people over this way, because, you know, like that's one of the elite programs in the sport, right? So maybe it's slightly different in that regard, but I feel like what we're experiencing now, Kevin, is like schools are the thing that's weird to me. And again, maybe I should do more research into how good she is at volleyball, right? Because this could totally make me sound like just the biggest idiot on the internet.
Imagine she's like the number 1 transfer.
Yeah, she's just cold, and I'm just a dumbass. But what I can't wrap my head around is like you prioritizing other sports openly like that. Being like, well, women's volleyball doesn't really matter. So if this girl, even if she doesn't have the requisite ability to play at this school in this volleyball program, it doesn't matter to us, because the only thing that matters to us is winning football games. And I think that part of it is crazy. But I also, again, like maybe she's nice, maybe she plays and she's like fits in perfectly, and I'm just an idiot. But I definitely think that we're going to be seeing more of this type of transfer as long as NIL is in this kind of realm, because it just feels like it's like natural. Like that's, oh, how do we get this guy to come to our school? Oh, okay, we'll get his girlfriend to come to our school first. And then now it's all that much more enticing. Could be interesting for Texas Tech getting an upgrade at QB. Who knows who knows how good their team will be next year, but this is an upgrade at quarterback over Mom's Meatloaf, that's for sure. Brendan Sorsby was the second team quarterback in the Big 12, was favorite for first team most of the season until Noah Fafita kind of, snatched his chain by beating him in Cincinnati. I think probably that game goes the opposite. You probably have opposite players on first and second team there. But Brendan Sorsby is a great quarterback. He had a really hot start, kind of a slow end, but I think that he still improves Texas Tech dramatically, and that that's a team that's going to figure it out on the D-line, on the O-line, and now they have a signal caller. Or hypothetically, it seems as though they have a signal caller. I know our own Anthony Totri of PHNX Sun Devils, Kevin, tweeted out earlier today that Texas Tech is not an option for Sam Leavitt. Now, I don't know if that's from the Sam Leavitt side. I don't know if that's from the Texas Tech side. That information was not divulged by Anthony Totri, but it seems as though like rumors of Sam Leavitt potentially being an option for Texas Tech are unfounded. That is not going to be happening. However, we do have some news for Texas Tech that he does have some interest from these teams, Kevin, and that will be, I believe, Miami, Indiana, LSU, and
Oregon. And Totri put out himself, like, I don't know, at this point, probably an hour ago.
Yes.
He said he would parenthetically like to add Tennessee, from what he's hearing, to that list.
Mm-hmm. Tennessee, of course, who contacted Sam Leavitt in the offseason when Nico Iamaleava got, kind of pushed to the side.
From Leavitt to Leavitt.
But what was funny about that, Kevin, if you remember correctly, is that Tennessee was hitting up Leavitt, right? And was saying, hey, we'll pay you more money to come to Knoxville. We can beat ASU, their offer. Leave right now and come join us. We need you. And Sam was like, no way. I'm locked in. I love this university. I love Kenny Dillingham. I would never leave. And Sun Devil Nation was like, yes, this is our quarterback. He'll never leave us. And then 5 months later, he's like, yo, Tennessee, that offer's still on the table or what? Like, how we feeling? How we feeling about that offer?
What's the word, Tennessee? What's the move?
What up, Coach Heupel? We still good for that whole transfer situation? Oh, that got pulled months ago when I played like dog crap for half a season, oh shoot. No, they actually do want him. But it is funny that it was like this idea of like he'll never go to Tennessee, you idiots. And then he's like, I might go to Tennessee.
And I will say this, I'm throwing this in the stream right now, so give me a second. But Pete Nakos with the dunk, I'll say as big of a dunk as like Big J journalists can do. Peep this. He said, that report from November 18th over a month ago where I was like, yeah, he's gone, guys. Don't forget that he is doubtful to return. His camp is shopping him at a high level. After speaking with sources, here are the early schools to watch for Sam Leavitt. More on 3. Oh, man, I loved this. When I saw this in my feed about an hour ago, Damon, I was like, not an hour ago, but recently I was like, you get after it, Pete. You get after him. Let him know that I was right the whole time. Let him know that I believe I had that about a month ago. Very cool stuff. And about as big of a dunk from Big J journalist as you will see this week. And you speak about Sam Leavitt and his destinations, Damon. Which one do you think is the best fit for him? Between Oregon, Indiana, Miami, LSU, and Tennessee. You got 5 options. If you were Sam Leavitt and every school was open to you, where are you going? I guess that's a different question.
Coming home. Tell the world that I'm coming home. I'm going back home to Oregon, baby.
Wash away.
Sam Leavitt. Sam Leavitt in Oregon. Isn't that what dreams are made of?
Yeah,
the kid probably grew up being like, I'm about to be a Duck one day. And then they didn't really want him all that bad. And he took that personally. And then he said, I think that I was told things behind closed doors of like, Sam would never go to Oregon. He would never do that because he's mad at them for not his lack of recruitment in high school. Then all of a sudden Oregon's like, yo, Dante Moore to the NFL. We got a fat contract offer. You can play in front of all your friends and family. And he's like, yeah, okay, I'll play at Oregon. That sounds like a good idea. I think that would probably be where I would go because I think that that's a good opportunity for a quarter. I think that that's how you up your standing as a quarterback. I worry a little bit about Miami from his standpoint of like the ACC sucks. Miami keeps getting the best transfer quarterback over and over again. And what's it leading to? I mean, I know they made the playoff this year, but like they're not going to do anything in the playoff. I wouldn't go to Miami, even though like out of those programs, that's the one I like the best. And then I think LSU with Kiffin is interesting. It is interesting. Man, it's honestly a really good list of teams.
It is. He has a great list.
Like you could go be Kurt Cignetti's quarterback.
Yeah, that's what I'm like, man. If he cares about ball, like if this is a ball,
if it's about ball,
Cignetti ball, man.
That's honestly
fair.
Get
in there, get serious, get locked in, focus on your reads and your cover twos and your ID and the mic and all that stuff. Don't go to TPC Scottsdale on hole 16. Don't do it, Sam.
Maybe Bloomington would be good for him.
I'm thinking
keep him kind of holed up in his house.
Not playing basketball outside in the winter in Indiana. That's a fact.
Hey, Sam, we're doing a house party today. We're keeping it inside today.
Yeah.
I think that, yeah, for sure. It's a great crop of teams. And what was the team that Totri said again? It was Tennessee. Man, that would be cool too. Tennessee is like He's
got like all the cool teams.
I've been to that stadium, and from what we know about Sam Leavitt, this might be by design. He might be looking around the country, being like, who's got the hottest babes? Who's got the most like cool like DJ shows I could go to? Like that's Sam Leavitt ball, is it not? That's why Miami's like at the top of the list.
I think he's going to. I'm not saying that like I'm predicting this, but if like in the same vein of the question, if I was him, it would be probably between, in this order, probably. Between Oregon and LSU is tough, but if I'm him from Oregon, I'm probably gonna put Oregon 1, LSU 2. I think that's like the second coolest thing to be is the LSU quarterback. Tennessee 3. If it's about ball, though, you got to throw Indiana at 2, LSU at 3, and then the list kind of can go from there.
I agree with that. I think Oregon is the best option, all of the things considered. By
the way, Steven, we're talking about ASU ball because your quarterback is in the portal. We're going to wait to talk about Arizona's Holiday Bowl game when the date gets a little closer because we're busy right now being the number 1 team in the country in basketball. Sorry about it, my friend Steven. I didn't mean to come at you like that, but I'm just
Steven,
saying.
this is the transfer portal segment of the podcast where we started talking about Brendan Sorsby. You may have heard of him. He is a Big 12 quarterback. And then we transitioned to talk about Sam Leavitt. You also may have heard of him, another Big 12 quarterback. So we started with Leavitt, or Sorsby. We are now on Leavitt, and we were involving in a discussion that affects Arizona. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. But yeah, no, Steven, it is all love. I just had to get you right there with the get back right quick.
It's it's a great list of teams for Sam Leavitt. Honestly,
if you're doing like a NCAA 25, Damon, you want all those teams. You're like, oh, I need all the jersey variations. I need the cool home, crowd. I need the drone show. I need all this stuff. So yeah, I will say that credit to Sam Leavitt where Leavitt credit is due. His team is shopping him at a high level, as what Pete Nakos reported a month ago, a high level. I mean, I don't think it gets any higher level from a shopping perspective than that, right?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, seriously, that's about as high level as it gets, certainly from a money standpoint as well. But yeah, it feels like Sam Leavitt's set to make waves in college football with his decision of where he'll be playing next, and of course, that's going to affect the Big 12 as well. Was there any other transfer news in the world of college football, Kevin, that was interesting enough to talk about? Yeah, DJ Lagway joining up. I saw some ASU fans talking about the potential, DJ Lagway coming to Arizona State and getting the Kenny Dillingham development treatment. Obviously, a guy that's very talented and has a ton of athleticism and throwing ability, but just didn't really put it together this past season. So could be a decent move.
Yeah, Pigeon read my mind. That's where I was going to go next. Yeah, Raiola.
Raiola could be someone that, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I could see that being someone that could come back to ASU. Ooh. Just in the way that he's not from Arizona, but he played his final, not his final season. He ended up moving to Georgia. He played his junior season at
Chandler.
So, maybe he knows Kenny a little bit. Maybe he can, kind of be sold on taking 1 year of the program and then going to the NFL, hopefully, and then, having Jake Fetty come in after that. So that could be interesting for sure, and seeing where he ends up. We have heard that Texas Tech is not an option for Dylan Raiola, and it had to be clarified very early on, Kevin, because, of course, everyone was like, he's going to Texas Tech. And Texas Tech had to come out and go, no, we don't want him.
You legit stole the brain power out of my brain, because I was like, Pete Nakos at this point is putting together a highlight reel that we will replay all summer, because he put out a tweet like right after the Dylan Raiola news came out saying this. Let me pull it up real quick. Bada bing, bada boom. Do not expect Texas Tech to be a factor in Dylan Raiola's portal recruitment. That is, like, I know you can't see the timestamp. That is right after On3 put that out. He had that one in the hopper. Waiting and ready. As soon as Dylan Raiola entered the portal, he said, not so fast, my friend. He is not good enough. They do not want him there at all. Don't even get it twisted.
Nakos is on a generational run right now, Kevin.
Dunking on everybody.
I just tweeted the gif of Shaq in the finals against the Knicks when he puts that dude under the basket and then shoves him afterwards onto the ground. And I just said that's Nakos to ASU fans after the whole Sam Leavitt incident. But yeah, lots of moving parts in the world of college football, and it's crazy that this is right in the smack dab in the middle of bowl season. I think that's the thing about this sport in particular, Kevin, the future of it, where it's like, man, so now Brendan Sorsby's not going to play for Cincinnati in their bowl game versus Navy, a Cincinnati program that, I know they were just in the college football playoff not that long ago, but let's face it, it's not like they're just swimming in success. Like, this was a great year for their football program, and they don't even get to, experience the benefit of what that feels like in a bowl setting, right? And I think we're blessed as Arizona fans to have a team that, let's talk about Redline for a second, like, is as locked in as this team seemingly is. Same thing with 2023. Like, that team, you could tell those guys cared about each other. There weren't dudes that were like, I'm trying to sit out of this bowl game.
Yeah.
Like, I want to play with my brothers one last time. And so I'm grateful as an Arizona fan that we have one of those teams, but it's crazy in the world of college football, Kevin, that, like, You have teams that are gearing up to play games. You have Ole Miss, who's about to compete for a national championship, and they lost their damn coach. Yeah. It's wild, man. It's wild, the times that we're living in.
It is wild times that we're living in, Damon, and we do have one more break here on the AZ Wildcats podcast for the day. We're going to talk more about hoops on the other side of this break, so don't go anywhere. Leave a like, drink your water. It's the AZ Wildcats pod, y'all. You know, you might not be traveling this holiday season, and that is okay, because a vacation, kind of overrated when you have the option of a staycation with our friends over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. And if you're wondering, why would I go to a casino for the holiday staycation? It's because Gila River Resorts and Casinos is more than just their 4,500 slots and live games. They're more than just the largest sportsbook in the state of the BetMGM Sportsbook. They're more than just all the gambling you can do there. It's about the experience, because you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, where you can achieve legendary status, whether it's through their comedy shows, their concerts, their live podcast tapings. You might see bump elbows with some local celebrities. I know I've ran into Noah Fafita out there, Tedero McMahon, the whole squad, right? You don't know who you're going to see at Wild Horse Pass or at B Kiva or at Lone Butte or Santan. You have no idea what you're going to get into, but you know you're going to have a good time, because you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details.
Kevin, it is, of course, the holiday season, and we are now just a mere 10 days away from the big dance.
Crazy.
That being Christmas, of course, December 25th, Christmas. We're all accustomed to it. We all know that date. We have it marked down. It's December 15th, guys, and it's time to get that Christmas shopping underway. If you're looking for a last-minute lifesaver, there is no better gift to give this holiday season than our friends over at Aura Frames. You guys can get $35 off with our promo code of PHNX on their matte carver frame. It is the perfect gift for someone, a loved one in your life, someone that's special, to kind of commemorate good times, right? Like, we all, love a good frame. How about a frame that changes pictures consistently and really just like gives you that effect of like not just getting stuck with that one picture in your room, in your living room, in your living space at one time? You can rotate through all those memories and keep things a little bit more on the edge of your seat, if you will. It's a great gift to give to someone. I know, like a mother or a girlfriend or partner. This is something that definitely is a great gift in that regard. So if for a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling carver mat frame, named number 1 by Wirecutter. It's a pretty big deal. By using promo code PHNX at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code PHNX. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast. So order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. That's PHNX at checkout. Looking for a gift with some Aura, Kevin? Aura Frames.
Massive Aura with Aura Frames. Massive Aura with branded Bills hats. I mean, look at these. Crisp. Aura. Also, massive Aura with our new red line. Oh, that was crazy.
I did that on purpose.
You couldn't really see my reaction, but I was like,
that's chemistry.
Ooh. Anyway, buy this shirt, y'all.
We even finished each other's
sandwiches.
It was supposed to be sandwiches. Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn
it. We'll get there. But yeah, buy this shirt. Buy this shirt now. We did, Sam. That's why I freaked out the way that we did. But buy this shirt. Support this podcast. Support Redline. Support Arizona football. Let's get more of these shirts at the Holiday Bowl. Damon, I don't know if we're allowed to do this for legal purposes, but
let's do it anyways.
If I see,
it's a great preface.
If I see a Redline Turnover Sword PHNX AZ Wildcats podcast shirt at the Holiday Bowl, we'll be there. Right? So if I see you wearing this shirt at the Holiday Bowl, I don't know. What should I do? Should I give them
give them a kiss?
No, that's crazy. See, that is wrong for legal purposes. I think maybe buy them a pint. I'll get you a beer,
Kiss on the forehead.
That's even crazier somehow.
That's way less crazy.
Somehow that's even crazier.
It's not,
because that feels demeaning. A kiss on the forehead, I give Jack a kiss on the forehead. You know what I mean?
Listen, Kevin, I'll get on that with you. Me and you, we'll split beers.
Yes.
We'll throw them off 1-1. Oh, we owe this guy a beer? Kevin, you're on it. It's your turn.
Yes.
Get him a beer.
I
I'll
like
get the
that.
next one and vice versa. We'll keep it moving.
If you want like a Celsius, we'll do that for you.
Yeah,
you
guys get yourself a shirt. You bring it to San Diego. Kevin, beers on Kevin and Damon.
Max is a psycho for that comment. I might ban you for that comment, dog. But hey, I you know, it's a sweet little peck. You know what I mean? Anyway,
wouldn't that be sweet? Wouldn't that be a nice little incentive to
they're
give
wearing
the
shirt.
Come here.
Yeah, now they're actually going to cancel us. Let's get out of here before let's move on before we get ourselves canceled. Buy the shirt. It's on our website under the merch tab, gophnx.com or store.allcitynetwork.com and get that shirt before the Holiday Bowl. But Damon, we do have some basketball to talk about. Arizona men's basketball taking on Abilene Christian tomorrow.
Kevin, I'm looking at these updated national championship odds that you just tweeted about.
Oh, it's stupid.
Michigan is plus 375 in December.
Can you screenshot that for us real quick?
That's one of the craziest. That's one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, via I think that was John or Jeff Goodman. Sorry.
It is Jeff Goodman.
I didn't mean to say John. That was Jeff Goodman that put that out, but it was via BetMGM. These national championship odds. Michigan is plus 375. Arizona, check notes. The number one team in America, undefeated, is plus 750,
which feels a lot more fair. Like I'm not. This is college basketball in a single elimination 68 team tournament, Kevin.
Yes,
being plus 375 in December is
in December when you're not even rated number one overall in the rankings.
I wish that they offered things like team to not win the national championship because you could get Michigan right now at like what minus 450, minus 500. I'd put everything I own on it. I mean, you're giving me the field versus Michigan at this odds. That's wild to me. I don't know. I just find that crazy.
It's insanity, man. 375 midway through December. We haven't even, I guess the Big Ten has opened up their conference play. The Big 12 hasn't. But you know what I mean? Like conference play as a whole has not even been cracked open fully yet. We just got we haven't even fully opened it up to where we can drink it yet. And Michigan is almost minus odds to win the whole national title. I don't understand it. I quote tweeted it, and I put out something like plus 375 in December. Like, this is an industry plant team, but the crazy part is they're actually really damn good, right? So I can't even get up here and say, like, oh, they just want them to be they just want them to do this, but they're not actually deserving. Michigan's whooping everybody's ass right now, but so is Arizona. So if you're going to tell me that Michigan, which I know this is not true, has plus 375 odds, and by I know it's not true, I mean in reality I know it's not true, Arizona should be what? Plus 400 at the worst, if not plus 375 right there with them because they're number one in the country. They're undefeated. Just put a beating on Alabama on the road. Just put a beating on Auburn at home. Put a beating, that's not fair to say they put a beating on UConn or UCLA, but they beat UConn, UCLA. They did put a beating on Florida in the second half of that game, and they're plus 750. I don't understand the disrespect. I really do not, Damon. The odds, they're just odds. Ultimately, they're there to get you to bet anyway. They're there to get you to be intrigued. They're there to get you to be like, ooh, the lines are there for you to be skeptical of them so that you can look at them and be like, ooh, Arizona, I think, is better than Michigan. And they're giving me double the odds? Hammer the Wildcats, right? Now, I do want to point out Sam Albert's comment that says plus 1,500 on Kelvin Sampson. Feed me that as Houston is plus 1,400 on that list. Yes, these odds are, get these off the screen, man. Get these off the screen. They're gross.
That's pretty wild, Kevin. I definitely don't subscribe to the plus 375 part of that graphic. I think the rest of it is fairly, ironed out. But how about BYU on there as well? I think BYU's pretty low on there, if I'm being completely honest. If you want to talk about a team that has like a ceiling, right? Like plus 3,000, I feel like BYU has an extremely high ceiling.
Damn, behind Florida?
Yeah.
Damn.
Behind Kansas.
Yeah. I guess if I could see Kansas. Well, no, because AJ DeBance is on BYU.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I could see Kansas because people are like, oh, Darren Peterson, Bill Self, but like Kevin Young and AJ DeBance too.
That's what I'm saying.
That's tough. Yeah, I mean, dang, that's tough. BYU should be a little bit higher. Houston should be a little bit higher. And Michigan should be a little bit lower in terms of their odds there, Damon. But we do have a game tomorrow night. We will be live post-game for Abilene Christian. No pregame because it's Abilene Christian, y'all. Now, I will say this. No actual disrespect to, I believe, the Wildcats of Abilene because they are the number one team in their conference right now. They are having a good start to the year. They are 7-3. The Abilene Christian Wildcats first in the WAC as it stands because we have not played conference time yet. But this team is not awful. This team is not bad, but they are nowhere near the level of the Arizona Wildcats. So this should be an absolute demolition at home. This should be a game that we're seeing Evan Nelson in with like 4 or 5 minutes left in this game. And, yeah, I mean, if we're talking about positives for Abilene Christian, if we're talking about, like, what makes them not just your average, like, non-conference opponent, they're a very good offensive rebounding team, which should help them in this matchup against Arizona where, they're going to be heavily outmatched in the front court side of things specifically. Abilene is ranked 39th in offensive rebound percentage, and they're also very good at creating turnovers, but they turn the ball over just as much, if not more, than they create the turnover. So you're doing something good on the other side, but you're not rewarding yourself for it on offense. They're 292nd. 292nd in turnovers a game. That is them turning the ball over to their opponent. But they're pretty good at creating them as well. So Arizona's going to have to take care of the ball if they want to really blow this team out the way they think that they can and should. But we do not have to spend too much time on Abilene Christian because this should be another rolling for Arizona.
Should be light work, Kevin. Should be light work on the Arizona side of things. And as our guy Roberto put in the chat, like maybe it's time for a little bit of CD Gay. Maybe it's time for a little bit of Evan Nelson. Like let's see the human victory lap that is Evan Nelson out there on the court for a good 20 minutes in this one. We do have some averages, Kevin, that we got to uphold. Like we got awards, postseason accolades, first team lists we got to make. So I still want our boys getting their points, getting their numbies.
Have you seen the player of the year stuff?
No, I haven't.
Fran Fraschilla posted this, and this isn't like anything that's like stamped, right? But like Ken Pom does their consistently updating player of the year rankings and standings. And now I understand from a usage, from a statistics, all that kind of standpoint as to why there's no Arizona players in the top 10 of this list. Because you have other players that are like really genuinely carrying their teams to
Arizona's
their wins.
So balanced from top to bottom.
Yes. But you're right. To your point about maintaining averages, if we are going to be able to, because look, we know Jaden Bradley is a dog. We know Jaden Bradley is one of, if not the best point guard in the country. But I would like him to be able to say that and prove that with some awards and some cut down nets at the end of the year. And that's not going to happen if he doesn't get his averages, at least on the individual side of things. Not going to happen if he doesn't get his averages up. I want to see Koa Pete get rewarded for his inevitable 1 year he's going to spend in college with some personal awards. That's not going to happen if the averages don't stay up. And they're just going to keep loving on Cam Boozer because he has to do everything for Duke or else they're going to lose these games. Koa Pete, however, is in a system where he's being utilized, making his teammates better, letting his teammates make him better. I'm not saying Cam Boozer's not making his teammates better, but you get my point, right? Cam Boozer's going to be number 1, number 2, number 3 all year in these player of the year conversations. Meanwhile, Jaden Bradley, Koa Pete, best players on the best team in the country, they're not even going to get a shout because you have guys like Ken Pomeroy doing consistently updated weekly player of the week, like player of the year. He's doing weekly player of the year rankings.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? You see the issue with that? So, yeah, I think Arizona, I would love to see them get more love in these kind of player of the year award conversations, but they're not. That's just not the way that this team is oriented. This team's oriented to win a championship, not to win a player of the year. So,
yeah. And I think that this is almost exemplified in their center rotation. Like it's almost that position in particular, like represents what you're talking about there. Like you have Mo Krivas who starts. You have Tobe Awaka who started last year and is not playing a full starter's amount of minutes. Neither is Mo Krivas, but both of them aren't necessarily about trying to just pad stats.
Yeah.
Henry Vasar, No, that's unfair.
I was like, whoa.
That's unfair.
Was that the first shot ever taken at Henry Vasar on this podcast?
I love our sweet Henry. I miss him every day. But it is like the truth. Like it seems like Henry Vasar wanted more opportunity, and that's fair, right? Like a 3-man rotation of these guys would just probably not be enough minutes, so someone had to go. But you have 2 guys who are just so unselfish. They just want to do what helps this team get more W's and helps this team, stay on the right side of that win column. And I feel like, Tobe Waka and Mo Krivas in particular, like their rotation, the way that they have conceded maybe getting more playing time, more notoriety, more money elsewhere. I think that's pretty special.
It is special. And I think like the way that this team is constituted, like I said, is for championships, not for, participation trophies. But I think like the actual mental makeup, the buildup of this year's roster, I don't think anyone gives a damn about their own personal stats. Like you alluded to with the center position, I think that could go for the point guard position. I think that could go for the 2-guard position. I think that could go for any of the wing positions on this team. Like Koa Pete, if anybody on this team should care about their stats, it should be Jaden Bradley and Koa Pete. Maybe Braden Burries too, right? But I think Burries, like as a freshman, you're in a spot where if you have a night like he did against Alabama, nationally, perception-wise, that'll probably carry you for like a month. You know what I mean? If you're Braden Burries. But Koa Pete, man, he is rumored as like a top 5 pick. And that is like what he needs to uphold, right? So if anyone should care about his personal stats, it's that guy. And he does not. Jaden Bradley, right? If anyone's going to be selfish, it'd be the guy that is needing this year to get him over the hump into the NBA draft or into the NBA life that he wants to lead. So if anybody should care about his stats, it's those 2 guys, and they don't. They care about winning games because what do they understand? That winning cures everything. Winning masks all flaws, right? So if Jaden Bradley can't shoot the 3, but he was the best player on the best team in college that year, and he shot it at a decent volume and a decent efficiency, let's give him a shot. He understands that is a real thing that players experience. Just being the best leader on the best team can get you so far. So yeah, I'm disappointed that we're not going to see Arizona in these Player of the Year conversations, but I think it ultimately is a very positive indicator for being the number 1 team and not having one guy dictate whether you win or lose.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like Darren Peterson is going to be up there because Kansas doesn't have crap else to rely upon.
Now Melvin Council just dropped 36. Now let's calm down now. No, I'm kidding.
Is that sustainable, Kevin, over the course of an entire season?
Hell no. They could get it from random dudes once in a while, like you're alluding to against NC State, but you're right. Like, and I kid about the Melvin Council thing. If Darren Peterson can't stay on the court like he has had trouble doing already this year, KU is definitely gonna have an uphill battle, right? They're definitely gonna have an uphill battle. So yeah, you're right on that.
Definitely feel like this team, top to bottom, is about as well balanced and depth proven as it gets in this sport. So, got to use that as to your advantage and hope that it ends up in the W column in March in your regard, because feels like we finally have the team that could get the job done. They could get this Final Four drought off of our backs. But it ultimately, like, we've seen a lot of really good teams, battle through regular seasons in Tucson and feel like we had a shot, and then it ultimately didn't end up being that way. So, but in the meantime, Kevin, we got a lot of basketball to talk about. We're going to be given a post-game show tomorrow, Arizona versus Abilene Christian, about 10 minutes after that final buzzer sounds. Kevin and I will go live. We'll break it down. We'll talk about whatever the main storylines in that game were. But in the meantime, of course, follow us. I am at Damon Dog. Follow him at Kevo Post, and follow us at PHNX_Wildcats on all socials except for TikTok, where we're at AZ Wildcats Pod. Please rate and review on your favorite podcasting platform. Subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 50K. We hit 48K. And if we can get 2K in the next 15 days, Kevin.
2K. Buy us a copy of 2K.
Might be on sale.
If we can get 2K. Sorry. I totally derailed you.
If we can get 2K subscribers in the next 15 days here, we will get a pizza party.
Let's go.
So help us get a pizza party if you are so kind. But we appreciate everybody for watching this show. The support has been unreal. And we cannot wait to bring you another one tomorrow on a Tuesday, post-game show edition, Abilene Christian versus the number 1 team in all of the land, the Arizona Wildcats. I'm Damon Fairall. You can follow me at Damon Dog. You can follow him at Kevo Post. And, of course, keep it locked in to what our beat account is posting at all times. See you tomorrow. And until next time, peace out. Bear down.
And go Cats. One time for the one time. Hammer time. Do, 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 do.
We all silly like the mayor.